Hey everyone, this is Romoret. I'm here with Gwenevre, and we're here to just talk about different things. Now that we've actually seen 2.8, we played the game, we played point 2, a fragmentary passage. We've watched the movie of back cover. We're going to talk about some of just our ideas, our thoughts on everything, trying to connect as much as we can for you viewers who either don't have 2.8 or haven't watched the videos online for it, trying to connect the games of Unchained X, 2.8, everything Kingdom Hearts for the time being. So we started off by just talking about Dream Drop Distance and where we left off with the most recent game, trying to make the connection between where Sora had been and where he showed up to at the end of point 2 when he said that he had a secret where he was when he and Donald and Goofy were showing up at Yensid's door. Now my understanding of it was that at the end of Dream Drop Distance you see this cutscene where Sora he failed the Mark of Mastery and he's going to interact with his Dream Eater friends, because he refers to as friends, and that's the end of that game, of that cutscene. And then at the end of point 2, Donald is complaining at Sora that the reason why he showed up late and missed Riku, Kairi, and the King Mickey, was because he takes such a long time saying goodbye to his friends, which I would assume would be the connection between there. He was interacting either by training with them, trying to redeem himself. Who knows what exactly he was doing with the Dream Eaters in the Dream Eater world of Traverse Town, but that's how I at least interpreted that. So, other things that we saw with point 2, that is Aqua's story when she's down in darkness and she's been there for, in the world of light, 10 years. In the world of darkness, you can't really tell. Time just seems to pass by. I noticed, I actually really liked how they incorporated the fallen kingdoms, such as Cinderella's world, into the darkness. Because they mentioned that in the original Kingdom Hearts game, when Cinderella was a Princess of Heart, you noticed she was there, but her world was consumed. And that was like something that most people wouldn't even remember or think about or anything. But lo and behold, Square does the thing that they always do by tying everything back. And Aqua's game, half of the game is in the actual dark part of Cinderella's world. Yes. With the clock tower, with the forests, everything. It was also the same thing with Snow White, where she is seen in the mines as well. That's a dark area of the mines, and it is also an area that she visited in Birth by Sleep, hence the whole idea of the mirrors and the memories and everything eating her out from the inside, because she's been stuck in darkness for 10 years.
Exactly. I mean, she's been in a proverbial hellhole for 10 years, constantly fighting, constantly running around, and I mean, shoot. Even there's a study done about isolation like years and years ago, back when, the governments could do whatever they wanted in their studies and there wasn't really regulations and all that. But they did a study on this guy where they isolated him, like, completely. Like, he had no human interaction, he had no sort of stimulation, and he started hallucinating. Vividly. And, I mean, it's really no surprise to me that after 10 years, Aqua's been holding up down there for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's really no surprise to me that she's starting to see things.
Right.
And she's starting to really self-doubt and, want to just fade away.
Right. Because
she's tired.
She saw the apparitions of Terra and Ven, which actually were the ones that led her in the correct area. Mm-hmm. They were, it was confirmed in one of the last cutscenes that we'll show that, she had that interaction with Terra. Terra was actually speaking to her.
Because Terra's heart is in darkness too.
Yeah, he called himself Lost in Shadow, but
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because of the interaction between him and Xehanort.
Because Xehanort told him, because Xehanort locked away Terra's heart.
Yes.
It was in Birth by Sleep. It was at the end of Aqua's chapter where she confronts Terranort, as I like to, as he is known colloquially.
Sure.
In Radiant Garden, when they fight in the courtyard, and Terra's spirit starts coming out because Aqua has made Xehanort's body weak. So Terra starts to come out. Well, Xehanort takes his Keyblade, No Name, and stabs himself in the heart to lock away Terra's heart. So that's when I think that Terra's heart is in darkness, is down in the world of darkness, and that's why Aqua could see him. But Ven is somewhere.
He's somewhere.
He's somewhere.
Well, we know that he himself is locked away in Castle Oblivion. Aqua did that to protect him and
his
to hide
body
him.
is in Castle Oblivion,
I
yes.
think his heart is in Sora.
That would make sense, yeah.
Because like they mentioned him finding like his heart. They had a voiceover of him, and it was his actual heart floating in darkness, and it settled in someplace warm. And the connection that I make is that Ven's heart is in Sora, just as like everyone else's is or has been.
At the moment, Sora only has 2 hearts, his and Ven's.
Yeah.
Kairi got hers back.
Yeah.
And for a time, Sora only had 1 heart in him.
Yeah.
Because when Sora stabbed himself during Kingdom Hearts 1 to release Kairi's heart, he released Kairi's heart and Ventus's heart.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Because Roxas had a heart.
Yeah, sure.
Roxas's heart was Ven's heart.
Must have been. That's why they look so alike. That's why they're so similar.
Yes, and I think Sora kept his own heart as a heartless because Kairi was able to recognize him as a heartless.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's okay. That's okay.
So at one point, Sora only had 1 heart.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, or the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, and Roxas gives himself back to Sora, Sora then reabsorbed Ven's heart. But now Ven's heart is Ven plus the memories that Roxas made being Roxas.
Yeah.
And they're all just in there.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Team 4-Star doing the abridged series where Piccolo is accumulating different Namekians and he has a bunch of people in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But like Sora is just the sink that's taking all these hearts in, and they constantly go back and forth saying like, "You're still the special boy. You may have failed, you may have sucked, but you're still the special boy. You're the one who makes the difference." So
I think it's less based on the powers that Sora has and the abilities he has, and I think it's more based off his personality. I think Sora just has that type of personality where he wants to save everybody. He wants to help everybody he comes across. Shoot, in the beginning of Dream Drop Distance, when Sora is in Traverse Town and Sora meets Neku. Yeah. And Neku turns around and betrays him. Sora still goes back and is like, "Hey dude, I get it. We're still friends. Like, it's cool. I still want to help. I still want to help you."
Yes. Yeah.
And that's I mean, pardon me for being cheesy, but that's what makes Sora special.
No, it's true. His character.
And that's his character, and that's something when in Fragmentary Passage when Yensid was like, "I told Mickey not to tell you guys about Aqua because I know that you guys would try and go and save her, and you can't yet.
Not by yourselves.
Not by yourselves. You weren't prepared. Now you are. Go."
Yeah, and he even pointed out, of all the people to do it, Sora would have been the first.
And Sora still doesn't know. Sora wasn't there for that conversation.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
He has no idea. He was just told to go to Colosseum again. They're using a lot of the Colosseum to talk to Hercules, which is another cool tie to make, I guess. Someone who lost all of his strength and then regained it back. Sora's not a god, or born from a god, so I don't know how that's going to work. But to learn about that process. But anyway, transition over to back cover. We both watched back cover. I was the one who played...
Before we start that, one thing I want to say about the Colosseum bit.
Yeah.
I hate Olympus Coliseum. I hate a lot of the worlds that we keep going back to in Kingdom Hearts. However, what I do like is how in all the previous games, the Disney worlds were a single contained unit. You went and visited them, you interacted with them amongst their own world, and then you never talked about them again.
Yeah, most people had no idea that they were connected.
You left, and that was it. And each of these worlds was, you followed the storyline of the movies in that world.
Yeah.
And this is sounding different, whereas when in 3, we're going to go to Olympus Coliseum, we're going to train with Hercules and train with Philoctetes, but there's no movie left. There's no movie left to conquer.
No, not at all.
So I'm really interested in what they're going to do with that.
I don't know, because the thing of it is that there were times in earlier games where Sora hinted that they're not from here, but most of the people thought, okay, they're just from a different part of my world, my planet.
Exactly.
But now, especially people who are in Traverse Town, I mean, yes, the idea of Traverse Town is that's the world where that's like the refugee place.
It's the world of requirement.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. It's where people end up.
Yeah.
Mostly. But people are becoming more and more aware of them being of the worlds being connected and the worlds being engulfed by darkness.
Yeah.
And those that are being restored and those that were restored at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. But going over into back cover, we both watched back cover. I played Unchained X and I did a short video explaining the story of Unchained X to bring people up to speed before back cover came out so that everyone could kind of understand what's going on. We watched back cover, and honestly, I don't know about you, but I felt like I am more confused now.
I didn't learn anything.
Yeah, I had no
I
idea.
wanted to know who the traitor was. That was the entire, like, going through the trailers and just seeing all the snippets and all the promotional material that Kingdom Hearts has been putting up on their Facebook page. It's like, you know, this is Ava. She's soft-spoken and she's, you know, is she the traitor?
They were playing
this is Aced. Is he the traitor?
They were playing Clue with us.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they were doing.
It was Aced in the tower with the box.
Yeah, pretty much.
We didn't learn anything.
No.
We literally, like, everything that was in the trailers was the movie. Like, that was the movie.
Yeah, they just...
The movie didn't tell me anything new that I didn't already see in promotional video. And I have not played Unchained X. I played a little bit at the beginning. I got super bored with it. Didn't play it again. I literally didn't learn anything new from this movie.
Right. So, basically, the only new stuff is they introduced these characters. They gave names to faces.
Yes.
Right? So, they talk... I explained what the foretellers are. There are technically five foretellers, the ones that are dressed in light with animal masks. And Ava's the fox one, or I think they may have called her Ava. I don't know. They have pronunciation differences. Aced, which is the bear. Gula, which was the leopard. Ira, which was the unicorn. And then Envy, which was the snake.
Yes.
And so the other two characters they introduced was Luxu. I don't know how I think that's how they pronounced it. Luxu?
I can't remember if it was Luxu or Lushu.
It may have been Lushu, but not Mushu.
No,
two different characters.
Definitely not
Mushu. But Luxu.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
Yeah. Lushu was the one that was he was a student. He was the 6th student. He was in the dark robes. The organization 16 robes.
Which is different. Because all of the other foretellers are very, like,
light based.
They're light based, and we kind of see their faces a little. We see like half of their faces.
Yeah.
But Lushu is very, like, off the cuff. He's an apprentice, but he's very, very obviously separate from the 5.
Yeah, but the 5 know him and recognize him as a comrade, at least initially, because they wonder, like, hey, where'd our bud Lushu go?
Yeah.
But so you have those 6 characters are the students, and they are the students of the guy called Master of Masters. Now you'll get a kick out of this. So the voice actor for Masters of Masters is the voice actor for Noctis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that, and the thing it killed me so much watching this movie because the Master of Masters is not who you expect this guy to be.
No, not at all.
Goofy and weird and really off the cuff, and it's not at all. He's when I was seeing him in promotional material when he's talking to Ira on the bluff, and Ira is like, well, how do we stop this war from happening? And he's like, man, it's not gonna happen. I was like, is that Braig? Because that sounds to me, it sounded like Braig.
It did.
And like Braig Zigbar, because he was just like that just sort of tone. It's not what I expected out of the Master of Masters at all.
I was thinking of like between Zigbar and Axel, that type of mentality, that kind of talk. But so that's actually true. What my thought of it for the Master of Masters was that he understands everything. He's I don't want to call him omnipotent, but he knows.
Kind of. I would say he's kind of omnipotent.
Yeah, he has future sight. He knows, at least that's what we're to understand. So I can understand that mentality of like him just being bored and wanting to rustle something up, wanting to entertain himself.
Right.
Because the entire book of prophecies was written by him. And we'll get into how he did that a little bit later. But the entire book of prophecies was written by him, by his foresight, and given to these apprentices. He could have said whatever he wanted in there.
And they would have believed it.
They would have believed it 100%. And
who's to say what he's put in their books isn't already different than what's in his book?
Exactly. And he wrote whatever he wanted. He gave them each different, technically the same books, but different. One of them had this whole lost page scenario on that, and that the only person who had that was Gula the leopard guy. But he did things in order to get them against each other. And I feel like he did that on purpose just because he was bored.
I agree. I think that the Master of Masters has an end goal that we don't know, that we don't understand, and this is all leading up to it. And I'm really wondering if one of the foretellers isn't going to kind of like figure it out, and try and just remove themselves completely from the impending Keyblade War.
Yeah, because I don't think there ever was a traitor to begin with. I think that idea was like an inception that brought into them, and then their union started to crumble. They started to not trust each other at all. And then the Master of Masters, to top it all off, gave them all roles to spy on each other. Individual roles, like Ava was the one who was supposed to form the Dandelion group to protect the New World, the Unchained World.
Which under the Master's rules is illegal.
Yeah.
But it's her role.
Exactly. So that doesn't make any sense. Gula was the one who said, don't trust anyone, there's a traitor. And he was the one who had the actual extra page, the lost page. And then Iro...
That shows that there is a traitor, but it doesn't tell you who the traitor is. That's my little fishy thing.
Yeah.
Considering this book of prophecies is like all telling and whatnot, and Gula has this page saying, there's a traitor, find him. But wouldn't the page tell you who the traitor is?
Yeah, seriously. So they have all that. Envy reports to Ira. Ira's the new leader. Envy's the one that just reports on everyone else's well-being. So everyone already knows that Envy's the spy.
Yeah.
And then Aced is supposed to be Ira's right-hand man, but then
Something happened.
Well, the Master of Master hinted. That's a mouthful. I'm just gonna call him Mom, M-O-M.
People do that.
Yeah.
It's very prevalent on the subreddit.
Either Mom or like Eminem or something, but whatever. So he told Aced, the bear, the Ursus leader, like, yeah, you're his right hand man. But you know, if anything ever seems fishy, you could push him out of his place.
Yeah.
You can you have your own judgment, and that just made it worse.
Well, and the balance in between these leaders and just all of them sitting around the table in the beginning, it never seemed to me like Aced was Ira's right-hand man.
No, not at all.
It seemed like Envy is Ira's right-hand lady.
Yeah.
And that's not her role. That's not where she's supposed to be.
I know, but I feel
Aced's supposed to be up there. So there's already a preconceived thing there that makes me feel that Aced he's never lived up to his role.
Right. So speaking of the roles, we went through what the foretellers do, but then the mom, the Master of Masters, basically gave a separate role to Luxu, the other one that is in a Organization 13 cloak, and his role was to continue the chain of passing a Keyblade down to from master to apprentice, and also carry this mysterious box that has something crazy powerful, something mysterious in it. They both know what it is, but of course Square Enix in the movie whispered it so that the viewers couldn't find out what it was. But anyway, so Luxu is just traveling in the middle of the desert with his Keyblade to train up his own apprentice and pass it down. Eventually, that Keyblade gets down to Xehanort. It's the same Keyblade, and the point of this passing it back and forth all the way down in history is because it has this eye, which the Masters basically said point blank, that's literally my eye, and that's how I know that I can see stuff in the future. Yeah, that I can see stuff in the future to write in this book of prophecies. The fact that you have already... The fact that the Book of Prophecies has been written tells me that you, Luxu, or Lushu, has already done his task.
Yeah.
Which is another weird time loop thing.
Yeah,
they introduced.
when Square Enix introduced time into this game, it really threw everything for a loop.
Oh, seriously.
Master, did you make this?
But yeah, it was messed up. But then Gwen and I, after we played the game and we hung out for the night, we started thinking like, we've seen those eyes before in other Keyblades.
After you left, I started playing Dream Drop Distance, and there's a specific moment. So one of the first scenes is Sora and Riku standing in front of Yensid, and Yensid is telling them like, y'all ain't as good shit as you think you are. You really need to go through this test so that I can give you the title of Master.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are not Keyblade Masters. You need to go through this test. We need to train you up again because you've been self-taught, and that's a great thing, but not quite the same thing. We need to do this.
Yeah.
And Sora's like, but we've already done everything. Like, I think that, me, the king, and Riku, we can take on anything. And Sora goes, right, Riku? And Riku stands there and thinks for a second, and he summons his Soul Eater.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of the screen is the eye in the hilt of Soul Eater, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, no, no, yes? No? So then I started looking it up, and I was like, okay, so it's here, and then it's here, because it's also in the hilt of Way to Dawn. Way to the Dawn. And then I was like, Romoret. This is, so there's a thing here, right?
Yeah. So it is, not only is it in the Keyblade that the Master passed down to Luxu that eventually got to Xehanort, but it's in Riku's Soul Eater and Way to the Dawn. It's in all forms of Master Xehanort's Keyblade. So the main guy, the old guy, and young Xehanort's Keyblade from Dream Drop Distance. It's in Sora and Riku's End of Pain Keyblade, which is this fiery looking Keyblade, bonus Keyblade at the end of Dream Drop Distance. Terra's Chaos Ripper, Vanitas' Void Gear, and then all of the Foreteller's Keyblades.
Yeah.
So,
it's located in the keychain of all the Foreteller's Keyblades.
Yes. And so, if you count that up, that's 13, which is one of our favorite numbers in Kingdom Hearts.
That.
13.
You mean that Nomura wasn't just trying to be an edgy teenager when he picked 13?
No.
Or he was at the beginning, and now is like, maybe we should make a real reason for this.
Yeah, because there has to be a reason for everything. That's what I've learned from playing Kingdom Hearts. That's why I went through and played Unchained X. You're like, oh, it's a phone app. They're just trying to get more money. No, there's actually storyline in it. Dang it. But I mean, it was a good game, but it drags on. But
Forever.
Anyway, so 13 Keyblades that happen to have this dark eye that is from the Master of Masters to see into the future and write the Book of Prophecies.
Why do they keep doing this?
I don't know.
Enough's enough, Square. Just give us Kingdom Hearts 3. Cause I was laughing, I was half kidding to myself and half crying to myself that when Yensid sent Riku and Mickey off to spoilers for 0.2. By the way, this is like a full spoiler.
Oh yeah, well I mean, all of those videos are up on YouTube somewhere, so they're
all up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But at the end of 0.2, Master Yensid sends Riku and Mickey off to rescue Aqua. And I thought to myself, I'm like, this is gonna be another side game. Fuck.
Probably.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get another like 3DS or a Vita. It's gonna get on the Vita. I'm like, shit. I'll play it, but damn it.
I could see that happening.
Because as I mentioned to you before, when I was talking to Ko last night, we were discussing how all these pieces and players are coming together.
Yeah.
And, between Aqua, Terra, Ven, Riku, Mickey, Sora, all of them, I told him, I'm like, I want Riku to find Aqua,
yeah,
and Sora to find Ven.
It makes sense because, actually, Terra was the one who passed down the power to Riku, technically.
Correct.
Aqua would have done that if Terra had not already.
Aqua would have given one of them the power.
Yes.
She didn't say which one, but she would have given one of them because, as she said, they were both capable to receive.
Yes. But I agree with you. Like, a ton of people, when they saw the trailer for point 2 and 2.8.
When they saw the opening trailer
for the
0.2, when you see Sora's hand reaching down to the water and Aqua's like reaching for his hand, everyone's like, oh my god, Sora's gonna go save Aqua!
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And they thought that was what he was doing when he said, haha, secret, that he went and saved Aqua.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that can't be it at all.
It's too much, because Sora can't handle the Dark World, let's be real.
He has not been there.
No.
He has been asleep and like surrounded in darkness, was almost engulfed as a dark vessel, but he has not been there, and he is not a master like Mickey or Riku.
Yes.
Honestly, that's probably what part of the whole point of the Mark of Mastery. Not only was it for you to be deemed a master so that you were better off fighting Xehanort in the 13 Darknesses in the future, but also because they needed someone of mastery to go and get Aqua, so they had their 7.
And one of the points of the Mark of Mastery was to gain the ability to wake a sleeping heart.
Yes, exactly.
Which Sora was supposed to get that ability to go wake up Ven.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, hey, slap, what are you doing? Let's do this. Wake up. But he didn't.
No, not at all.
So Sora has to still go and get that ability, as Yensid stated at the end of 0.2. He's like, you fucked up. You gotta go to Olympus Coliseum. You gotta relearn all your abilities, all your fighting styles. You gotta go do all that. And then you're gonna learn how to wake a sleeping heart. And then we're gonna go get Ven.
Yeah.
Because we don't... And they have to get Aqua, because Aqua's the only one who knows where he is.
Yep. Or how to get... I'm like,
how to get there.
Technically speaking, Chain of Memories, Sora was already there.
Yes!
He was there. He just missed Ven.
Yeah, exactly. And it's... Well, nobody can find Ven.
No one can unlock it except for Aqua with Ericus's key.
Yes, with Ericus's Keyblade. And because Xehanort's been trying to find Ven.
Yeah.
Xehanort's been talking to the armor that Aqua sent Terranort up out of darkness in, because that has her Keyblade in it. And I guess there's a room in the Castle that never was, and there's a room in Castle Oblivion. The room in Castle Oblivion is where Ventus is, but Xehanort doesn't know how to find it.
Yeah.
So he's been sitting in the other room trying to figure out how to find Ven in the linked room. And that's why there was that moment in 0.2 where Terra's heart that's wandering in darkness starts getting overcome by Xehanort, because Xehanort senses that Aqua is nearby, and he wants to know where Ven is.
Yeah, he says something
He tries
about,
to get her to tell him.
Chamber of something.
The Chamber of Waking.
Chamber of Waking, yeah.
I can't remember what the paired name of it is. I'm gonna look it up.
But no, you're right. He tried to possess Terra's memories, or actually Aqua's memories of Terra while they're communicating with each other, in order to basically interceive that message and figure out where Ven is, so that he can access it and get there and get to Ven, so that he can combine Ven with Vanitas again, create the Keyblade again, and then have that almighty power.
Vanitas is destroyed though. Vanitas is gone.
Well, I guess they still need Ven for something. I don't know yet, but allegedly, I guess at the end of Birth by Sleep, they did end Vanitas.
So the Chamber of Repose is the one that Xehanort can access.
Yeah.
And the Chamber of Waking is where Ven is sitting asleep.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
So we're just trying to figure this all out by piecing it together and all that.
That's okay. Square Enix is trying to.
Yeah, Square Enix is trying to too as well. So right now in Unchained X, we just met Scold, and I have to make a correction from my previous video. Scold is female. I didn't know that because the day I made the video talking about her, I said him, and the following day, like the next 24 hours, Square Enix released the quest that introduced Scold, and there you go, female. So, we understand that we're getting close to the end of the story quest in Unchained X. Scold has been introduced. We're going to start looking into this tower. We've seen more dark Chirithes that have disappeared, or that have been corrupted in dark because their wielders turned into... I don't even know. They look like Heartless. They look like a combination of Dream Eater and Heartless. I'll have to show you a picture later.
Okay.
But it's a boss of the most recent quest that you can play. They're dark players that you actually fight. And we're getting close to the end where we learn about the Unchained world, where where your friends went and what not master, but foreteller Ava, the whole point of what she was trying to do. So I don't know when the release date of Kingdom Hearts 3 is. I think it's
It's okay, Square doesn't either.
No, they don't. I think they're aiming for the end of this year, the beginning of next year, but that's just speculation on my part. But they have a lot of questions to answer. Like the whole 2.8 final chapter prologue was supposed to answer stuff.
Yes. It answered some things, but not all. Like they don't have to answer everything, but it answered like minimal questions. I expected like some questions to be answered.
Seriously.
And to have some more questions, which 0.2 gave me that. Back cover did not give me that.
Oh, I had no idea.
This game, I almost regret buying it day one because I don't know that it's worth the $60.
The 0.2 was fantastic. It was only 2 hours long, unfortunately, and it did.
And it does have replayability.
It does. It has
is
achievements
a
and stuff.
great tech demo. It's a for all intents and purposes, it's a story-driven demo.
Yeah.
And Dream Drop Distance, that game looks fucking gorgeous. Oh my god. For porting it from the 3DS to the PlayStation 4, I think they did a really fucking good job because
it looks really good. Yeah.
It looks really good. Gameplay has insofar been running at a steady 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
At cutscenes, it reverts back to 30 because cinematics and all that.
But I mean, it still looks good.
Okay, fine. It looks great. They've ported over the controls really well. The one thing I really hate about Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS was flow motion. I hated flow motion.
Oh, you could use and abuse it. It got me through like all the stages.
I hated it because trying to figure out where the frick I was on the map on the small 3DS screen,
yeah.
I couldn't handle it, and I hated flow motion for it. Loved everything else about the game, hated flow motion.
So, I have a question then because you're playing a PS4 Dream Drop Distance, right?
Yes.
And in 3DS, you have the two screens. So how do they make it work here?
So
with all the touch screen stuff and the diving back and forth and the flow motion, how do they make it work? Because I haven't played it.
Menus. It's all. Most of it is in menus. Reality shifts is now you do triangle and 0 at the same time.
Okay.
So if there's an indication that'll show up on I can actually show you.
But how?
Let's pop on in.
Sure.
I'm gonna mute this
he's not
so it's
here
not
anymore.
interfering with the sound. But
What?
flow motion's been pretty good. I'm trying to remember all the like touch screen
Summoning Kingdom Hearts
things
is
that they
forbidden.
had.
Mostly it was flow motion and then activating your actually Dream Eater companions.
Dream Eater companions, you activate those similar to as you would summons in
Sure.
1 or 2.
1 or 2.
So
yeah.
you just go over right or left on the D-pad.
Yeah.
And then for reality shift, it'll show up you'll be fighting a group of enemies and it'll show up an icon and you would press at the same time X and O.
Yeah.
And that would activate your reality shift.
Okay. That makes sense. Would you say though, because flow motion was terrible? Well, I wouldn't say it's terrible. They made it work, but they actually implemented it better in 0.2 with Aqua's playthrough. But is it better here in the PS4 version?
I enjoy it. The only problem I have with flow motion here is when you have to, because you jump off the walls, you use square to roll into a wall, and then that's how you kind of get around.
Sure.
That's how you activate your flow motion. But another method to activate your flow motion was either, hopping on guardrails and, skiing along like you're on a freaking skateboard.
Yep.
And your third method would be to use light posts.
Yeah.
So the only issue I have with that is there are times where you'll be trying to set up a flow motion and you're trying to get onto the light post and it'll miss for whatever reason.
In the PS4 version.
In the PS4 version.
Okay.
So that was here. You see that icon for the reality shift?
Yeah.
You would hit. I screwed it up.
That's all right. But you would hit the buttons and it would activate.
Yes. So before it was a touchpad
There
on
you go.
the lower screen, but here
Oh, so it's the same screen then.
it's the same, but instead of it being touch, it's more incorporated with your button
Yeah.
layouts. And then same for the spirits. So when you would go in, and basically Pokemon to me, your spirits.
Yeah. So they did a good job going from the 3DS to the PlayStation 4. Excuse me.
I feel like they have.
Okay, that's good.
So, and one thing that I've found out that they've incorporated with, petting your spirits, you can either use this left analog stick, sometimes you have to hold down X and then move your analog stick, or I take my thumb and I put it on the DualShock 4's touchscreen.
Yeah. So the reason why we're looking at this and exploring this implementation and this change from Dream Drop Distance from 3DS to PS4 is because it gives us an idea, just like Point 2 did, of understanding some of the game mechanics and how they're going to use the PS4 console for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
So we're looking at that just to explore, to figure out what sort of possibilities there are, if they're going to continue with flow motion, if they're going to continue with tying in Dream Eaters, because at first we thought Dream Eaters were just going to be part of Dream Drop Distance, and then Chirithy shows up in back cover and
throws everything for a loop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is the idea of having a Dream Eater is that it has to be in someone's dream. Yet Master of Masters just flipping turns one on and makes a bunch of them for all these Keyblade wielders. And I'm thinking, are we in dreams now? Is this even a reality, or what's going on?
What if the original world was a dream?
It could be. That was actually...
What if it's like Xanarkand?
Oh, gosh. Final Fantasy Square, if they were to do that. But no, it could be, because... honestly, it could be, because one of the things that... Emphemer, who was the silver white-haired guy who was talking to the foreteller Ava and was your friend for a number of quests, and who's allegedly in the Unchained right now, his theory when he was looking for the truth was that you were in some sort of dream world, just being Lux collecting machines in order to prevent the darkness from coming. So it could very well be that the fact that everyone has their own Chirithy means that you are in some sort of pseudo world where all these memories and all these places you're traveling to are memories. Like, they're combining concepts from Unchained X, from Dream Drop Distance, from Chain of Memories, where you're not really in the world, but you're there.
And who's to say that this original world that they show in Unchained X and in back cover it's not just a world. And when Ava tells her dandelions, when the time has come and darkness is here, do not fight but fly to the world outside.
Yeah. It could just be another one.
Assumably there should be nothing outside, right?
If this was the beginning of the beginning, then yeah, there shouldn't. But
what if there is?
It could
and they've just never left.
Yeah, it could be that this is just the first world that we know of before they had the whole traveling between them.
What if these are just planets?
I don't know. That's a good idea.
Maybe this being the world that there are people, and other worlds just they aren't inhabited by people and Keyblade wielders. So then when Ava sent out her dandelions, they spread all over, and now all the worlds know of Keyblade wielders, and they have it's too deep of a concept for me to flesh out.
But could you imagine Kingdom Hearts 3 actually us going to Daybreak Town and going to that Unchained world and that back cover world?
It's possible. It is completely possible.
And running into all those people. I don't know how it would work. That would mean that Luxu was the first one to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because...
Or maybe the Master of Masters, by him disappearing and fading away,
I think it would have been the Master of Masters.
He just traveled somewhere else.
He just went somewhere else. And if you notice, I think that at the end of back cover, when Luxu is standing in the middle of that wasteland, that's where the Keyblade War happens.
Probably.
That is the Keyblade graveyard.
And that's the good
Minus
point.
the Keyblades and the graves.
Because we understand that the idea of the Keyblades, it's almost like they have the Force. They can call their Keyblades to them. But the fact that there's a Keyblade War that occurred and all those Keyblades are in that graveyard, they're still there. When their wielders pass away or are gone or whatever,
without the wielder passing on the Keyblade to someone else,
it stays there. It stays there.
Which is why I think when Aqua quote-unquote inherited Master Ericus's Keyblade, which is what she carries with her in the World of Darkness. Yeah. It isn't her Stormbreaker. I think that's what it's called, her Storm Chaser.
I think something like that.
I think that's why whenever she summons her Keyblade, it's Erika's Keyblade, because her Keyblade still remains in the Chamber of Repose.
Yeah.
Up in the world that never was. With
Oh
her
no, it
armor.
does. It does.
Okay.
But at least that's what we understand it to be. It's a lot to think about.
It is.
It's something like.
Why do we like these games?
I don't know. The story is fantastic, but it's so confusing when you keep adding more and more side stories and all this other stuff. And yet they're somehow all linked and. Oh gosh, and we've been playing them. When did Kingdom Hearts, the first one, even come out? 2000. The first one. The first one came out earlier than that. It must have.
I was.
I thought it was like 2003.
I was 9 years old when when Kingdom Hearts came out.
Yeah.
So
But
it would have been 2002.
2002, yeah. My goodness. But still, that's ridiculous. It's fantastic. We love them. I'm going to continue to play them regardless, but
March 28th, 2002 is when Kingdom Hearts 1 released on PlayStation 2.
in the US.
In the US.
Yeah, okay. But it's been a long haul, and this is what they told us is this is the last. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the last one of this saga.
Of the Xehanort saga.
Of the Xehanort saga.
Which almost makes me wonder if, like, yeah, Xehanort's defeated. Woo woo woo.
Oh wait, he had apprentice.
Oh wait. That's the Master of Masters shit.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're putting in that little nugget for all of the Unchained and back cover stuff to come back, because they say there's one thing in 0.2 that starts sticking out to me. May your heart be your guiding key.
Yeah, they abused that line.
They never said that line before Unchained.
No, they didn't.
And now they're saying it, and I'm like, you trying to make a callback? You trying to bring something else in here? Cause I mean, I'm all for it. I like the quote.
Yeah, it's a good quote.
It's a good quote. It's a good little thing, and well, cause Goofy says it, which really threw me for a loop. Because when Sora, Donald, and Goofy are leaving to go to Olympus Coliseum, all the lanes between the worlds have been closed. There's really no way to get there, and Sora's like trying to figure it out, and Goofy's like, may your heart be your guiding key, and Donald's like, what are you talking about?
Like, where the heck is that from? You're not even
What?
a Keyblade wielder.
I don't know, I just thought of it. It's like, Square, come on, we're not that dumb. Like, I would have bought it if Master Yen Sid had said it.
He claimed that Master Yen Sid had said it, but then Donald's like, I never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
I would have bought it more if Master Yen Sid had said it on screen, and then Sora would have been like, may your heart be... Like, then he would have remembered it, like, may your heart be your guiding key.
Yeah.
Huh. Because the portal that Sora opened to fly at Olympus Coliseum is the same portals that our Keyblade wielders in Birth by Sleep would open.
Yep. And it looks similar to the ones that the portals and the Unchained that your character can open to go in between worlds.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. And we're just waiting, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe more trailers when 3 comes along will come out and we'll have more questions or answers.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I would really love there to be more at the C3. However, Nomura has come out and made a statement that when they started talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 way too early.
Yeah.
And they're nowhere near done with it.
No, they're not.
Which makes me sad.
They said that because all these other things were happening, like Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, they kept reassuring people that they still had an adequate number of people working on 3. And I can't say for sure. I don't work there. But,
Exactly.
like, exactly what you said. They were talking about it and making it a huge hype and showing these very few cutscenes way too early. I'm like, my prediction of the end of 2007, early 2018 is probably too early.
Oh yeah. I think earliest it'll come out is holiday 2018 or spring 2019.
And hopefully by then the PS4 isn't obsolete.
We'll see. So far the PS4 has been performing well, though there have been reports recently, now that the PS4 Pro has been released, that there are some original PS4s that are starting to deteriorate.
Oh wow.
But there have been performance issues on the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
With some games performing worse on the PS4 Pro than on the original PS4.
Okay.
So we will see.
We'll have to find out, but it'll be good. We'll find out what happens, and then play it and tolerate it and probably love it but tolerate it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening to this rant. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did, I guess.
Try to be a bit of an informative rant.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just for those of us who have been at it since 2002, it's a lot to go through. It's a whirlwind. That's for sure.
Deep dive. Late at night. So many memories.
Yeah.
I restarted Kingdom Hearts 1 at least 4 times just to go through that beginning sequence.
It was a very good game, but we're going to leave it here. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take it easy.